We can finally put the rumors to rest as Apple has taken the wraps off of the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10. Juan Carlos Bagnell here for Pocketnow, and let's talk about the future of smartphones. This was the first Apple special event held at their new campus, this beautiful spaceship of a building, and they had numerous products to talk about: the new Apple Watch Series 3, the Apple TV 4K HDR, but we want to talk about the phones. All of the rumors, all of the leaks confirmed we will be getting a trio of iPhones this year, starting off with the iPhone 8. If you were hoping for a more progressive design over the iPhone 6, iPhone 7, iPhone 7 Plus, you're probably going to be a little disappointed. The general layout and form factor are going to be very similar to the current iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus. Where the iPhone 8 will be a bit more progressive is in the materials the phone's going to be made out of. Losing the aluminum back panel, Apple is going to return to glass to facilitate wireless charging on their new phones. Apple will be supporting the Qi standard already being used on a number of Android phones, but of course they had to put their own fresh new spin on it with AirPower, a special mat that can detect different Apple devices to help you wirelessly charge an Apple Watch 3 edition or your AirPods in a special new optional case. While the iPhone 8 design is starting to feel a little long in the tooth, there are some new technologies packed into this phone that we're going to be really excited to play with in the coming weeks. A-series chipsets have always delivered phenomenal competitive performance, but this new A11 Bionic chip that's going to be in the iPhone 8 sounds like it's not only going to be a nice step up over performance from the current generation of iPhones, but also help address some of the power management issues we've been having on the 7 and 7 Plus. 6 cores, more power, but also a bit more battery efficient. Of course, putting lifestyle durability front and center, water resistance will be returning, and this glass manufacturing process Apple touts as being some of the most durable material that they've made a phone out of yet, reinforced by a steel frame to potentially head off any flexibility issues on these new phones. Retina HD displays are going to be getting a tweak with this True Tone color system, where it will sense the ambient lighting around you and better adjust colors on your display for a more accurate representation of your images. And of course, there was plenty of hype surrounding the cameras. Apparently, the iPhone 8 is going to be getting new camera sensors, larger sensors, but with the same resolution, similar to what we saw Samsung do with the Galaxy S7, and they're claiming that this will allow the iPhone 8 to capture up to 30% more light per exposure. There will still be the camera division between the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus, the latter getting the dual camera system, which is not only going to provide the portrait mode that Apple helped pioneer, but also a new portrait lighting system. Those two cameras working in tandem not just for depth and background blur, but also using really intelligent algorithms to scan the subject and use lighting to help further separate your subject from the background. Of course, the big news, the big hype for this event, iPhone X, actually being called iPhone 10. Apple's aggressive take on an all-screen phone, minus a little cutout for some front-facing cameras. Touch ID and the home button are gone, replaced by gestures and a new face scanning system off of a front camera system housed in that black bar at the top of the screen. What this system is going to do is create a series of somewhere around 30,000 dots on your face to really contour map and make sure the phone can recognize you. Evil twins might be a problem, but Apple claims that the false positive rate is significantly higher than on a fingerprint sensor, somewhere around 1 in a million out in the population. The rest of the iPhone 10 front face dominated by a 5.8-inch OLED display that Apple is dubbing the Super Retina display, a non-standard resolution of 2436 by 1125. Not quite the Quad HD that we're seeing on competitors, but a pixel density that I don't think many people are going to complain about. The front camera and the surrounding sensors, dubbed the True Depth system, will aid in your selfie shooting by also providing the same portrait mode and portrait lighting found on the rear cameras. And by capturing that kind of face tracking data natively on the phone, we get to play with some fun things like animojis, animated emojis that map the muscles of your face onto cute, adorable little animated creatures. And a major talking point for Apple this keynote, augmented reality. The dual camera systems on the iPhone 8 Plus and the iPhone 10 providing you real-world interaction with data and services. Of course, they had a couple gaming demos on display, some cool ways to interact with characters on flat tabletop surfaces, especially when played against other human beings. But one of the more interesting demos focusing on sports, the ability to pull player information while pointing your camera out at a ball field or at a TV screen showing a baseball game. Apple's aggressive developer support for augmented reality and putting this as a primary primary feature in a consumer-ready device as mass market as the iPhone makes it a really compelling option to watch once we finally start reviewing these phones. iPhone 8 and iPhone 10 will come in 64 and 256 gigabyte options. The smaller iPhone 8 starting at $699, the iPhone 8 Plus moving up to $799, and the rumors were true, iPhone 10 is going to start you off at $999. The era of the $1,000 iPhone is here. The iPhone 8s will be available for pre-order September 15th, shipping out September 22nd, where iPhone 10 is going to be available for pre-order at the end of October, shipping out the beginning of November. And we have so many questions if Face ID will really unseat Touch ID as the more convenient and more secure biometric security platform. Can Apple really move the needle on bringing consumers into augmented reality? And are people going to complain about that cutout at the top of the screen like they did for the Essential phone? So I want to leave this video off asking you all a question. Did this event really capture the majesty of the 10-year anniversary of the iPhone? We had a lot of callbacks to Apple innovations of iPhones past, and of course the presence of Steve Jobs in this new amphitheater I think was felt by everyone watching the event. You think these phones would have made Steve Jobs proud? Drop us a comment down below. As always, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for our full iPhone 8 and iPhone 10 coverage. You're gonna wanna be subscribed because we're gonna have our hands on these phones pretty quick. For Pocketnow, I'm Juan Carlos Bagnell, some gadget guy on Twitter and Instagram, and I will catch you all on the next video.